Good morning and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started. Enjoy the show.
All right, good morning and good night. Welcome to the Body Snatchers podcast, Holy Grail, Mother Load, jackpot show of everything you care about. You don't believe me? Stay home and stay safe with the volume on 10 because we have a pretty fun show today. With Final Fantasy VII coming out and hitting our PS4s like a 6-foot sword, we want to talk about remakes, remasters, and reboots. Are they going to be something we can expect more of? Remakes that hit the mark or some that were just recycled like money grabs? We're also going to talk about games we think should be revived in the modern world. But before we get cracking, bodysnatchersmedia.com is the spot. Tell your friends, join the socials, follow, subscribe to your heart's content. The Patreon is brand new. For only $1, you can support us and win all kinds of free shit. Check it out. Call me in the morning. I am your host, Steve, not here. Across from me is Mr. Essential himself, working 8 days a week. Jay, what's happening?
Oh, man, you know, I'm out here living in this COVID quarantine. I'm loving it.
I like it. Thanks for coming out here at midnight. We're recording at midnight. So we're going to be talking about, games that came back to us, games that might come back to us. And I read that Konami made the news this week. Everyone who's anyone has heard of the, I guess you can call them furries, right? That's what the people like now.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you get a big suit, you hang out with your friends. Who doesn't like that? But Bloody Roar is a fighting game. It's pretty much Animorphs who can throw hands. There hasn't been a game in over 15 years, and Konami just recently filed a new trademark for the title, and everyone is so excited. And someone said that it's for like a slot machine.
Oh, that's disappointing.
But that's hearsay. They do have the trademark, so everyone is pretty excited. I was fine from the game until Bloody Roar 4, where everyone's hitbox, it was really weird. Everyone's hitbox was in their stomach. So like if you were gonna kick them in their head, it would pass their stomach and they would react as such. But if you like hit their chin a little bit or hit their foot in the wrong way, they wouldn't move. So it was a mess.
Yeah, that's rough. I jumped off before then. I think I might have got off at 2 or 3. But either way, I always thought that would be a good one to be redone in modern times. I think that'll come out nice. It could.
It would. It's almost 20 years now. If they wanted to make a Bloody Roar 5 or Bloody Roar Ultimate, whatever the fuck they want to call it, I wouldn't doubt they couldn't make it amazing.
Yeah. I had no idea. And we'll see, because Killer Instinct did a pretty good job. It was a good minute before, you heard anything coming from them, from that camp, and it was a pretty big thing for a while. So
it was, and it looked fantastic. And people, they're loyal to the people that used to play it, which is where I think the big money is. If you're gonna redo or rebang a game and sell it to us,
definitely
for probably more money, like more than we paid for originally.
Oh yeah, definitely. Without a doubt.
Now, I want to talk to you about something too. Although I was burned like millions of other people, No Man's Sky is not going away anytime soon. As when you hear this, there was an update followed by the regular patches and content improvements. Them just pretty much apologizing, throwing in cool shit for you. Here's one more, Mechs. And that's a pretty big update. So right now they have giant robots that you can climb in and use with laser cannons and flying through the sky. And that's a long way from people like me that pre-ordered it and played it. So it does seem fun. No Man's Sky is not giving up. And more I'm turning my head back towards them.
Right. Just to be like, okay, just to see if it was enough to kind of save face, because they've definitely been constantly working on that.
Right. They're not ready to give up yet. And I do like that. I do like that they're like, all right, well, we did rush it out, and they had to delete their Twitter from all the negative feedback. But slowly and surely, they give out these updates, and the videos look amazing. I mean, I haven't played it because, you know, I work for a podcast and I got to play games one after another. But, you know, it's pretty cool to see these guys realize that, like, all right, we did mess up, but it's not over.
Mhm.
We're gonna keep listening to these people, and we're gonna win them back. And more I see that their numbers, I'm looking at it right now, more and more people are coming back to them. So good for them.
Yeah, and I mean, see, but the problem with that, you were saying, you know, the video looked so cool, but the problem with that was the video looked cool the first time around. You know what I mean? It looked cool enough for you
That's
to
a
be
good
like,
point.
you know what? I'll go for that. And you know, but hey, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna give it a chance. You know, especially like you said, I already got it. They already got my money. I'll re-download it. I'll see what's going on. I don't know if did you try Anthem? Because you know, I don't know they went live with their thing.
Me and Tino got it, and it was enjoyable to an extent. We did
Mhm.
a show on it, and I liked it up until I had all the bullshit to say about it. Then I'm like, they
Yeah.
got my ass.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have a giant update too. So, you know, I own it. I might come back.
Right. And yeah, so and I gotta see because then you know gotta try to re-get a gang of people. I guess it's not too bad because it's only 3 people, but it's just like, man, you know, try to find a group of people
Destiny
to be
did the
like,
same
hey,
shit
yeah, yeah.
to
But
to
see, I
where
feel
to where
like
they made a bullshit game, and then they came back with a big I think it was DLC and a patch that came with it, and they just redid the entire game and made it fun.
and that was for the second one, Destiny 2.
Yeah, that was for the second one.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even really try that one. I was like, miss.
I stayed loyal. I mean, I stopped playing like the rest of the world, but when they came back and everything was changed up, I think they're doing pretty good now. I'm not playing it now, but I assume they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So, to get us out of the gate for remasters, I couldn't help but bring up that Saints Row the Third and all their DLC is coming out May 22nd, remastered on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. You won't find another game that competes with the GTA single player mode like Saints Row does, and it's coming back. So if you never played it, it looks like it's the same exact game, only clean and crisp. 2020. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
So now, how do you feel about like just the definitive editions of games? Like, you know, usually it's like you said, the same game, but they, you know, give it a good little spit shine. Like, this is what we couldn't do with the last generation, but here's all the DLC. Here's the whole game as we had it originally in our mind. We just need a little more money from you. So here you go again.
Well, here's what you got to do. People like me, I don't like playing games more than twice. My top 5 of all time is going to be Final Fantasy 15. There ain't no question about it. And they got a Game Plus mode. I ain't going. I played it already. I don't care if it's harder or you got a new sword or, you know, there's a new car. I ain't going. You should have got me the first time. I got places to be. Now, when I was a kid and I played a game over and over again, and now they're going to be like, hey, we're bringing it back, HD remix. They want to add a couple stuff. I'm down with that. I'm down to go from front to back and play everything that I used to and experience it. Not only do I remember what it used to be, but now I can enjoy what they've improved and relive it. That's the very definition of what these games are supposed to do for you. You're supposed to relive, not play them for the 4th time or whatever.
Right. It's like relive them at the same time, have, you know, a new spin on certain things, like, but that's the difference between the definitive editions and then a full-on remake, because I feel like remakes are definitely going to be, especially after Final Fantasy 7, they're definitely going to become, you know, more common than they are now, I feel like.
Oh, I agree. The first one that comes to my mind and the one that I've recently played is Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But man, does it look good, and it's a lot harder than it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think what it is with that game particularly is just games are different now. It's not too many like platforming games, so it's like a different side of your brain that you haven't used in so long, and it's like, wait a minute, I can do this. But it's like, you know.
Not only that, they got to keep your attention. So shit has to look good, because if it doesn't, we notice the detail and then we start moving on. We start putting it in the all right bail bin. Bail bin is when you start adding shit up and you're about to bail on this game, which everyone here has done.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the Spyro, what was that? Reignited trilogy. I haven't played it, but I heard a lot of people like that if they like the Crash Bandicoot Insanity trilogy. So
yeah, like with those, I dabbled a little bit. I knew that I wasn't gonna play it, so I didn't buy it. Not that I wouldn't enjoy it. I just don't think that I'll be able to be like, all right, I'm gonna sit through this whole trilogy again. Like, no, it's not that deep.
Right, that's how I feel with anything. I mean, I can't fathom that single player games get a patch, or like yeah, they just patch it and then they're like, oh, we added this and this and this in the single player. I'm like, I'm already done with the game. I mean, don't get it twisted. I get games and I finish them in a couple of days because I just sit down and I get it done. Final Fantasy is not going to last more than a couple of days for me. So if you want to add something cool in there, you got to do it like now.
Right. You said you got to be faster than that. But yeah, and I mean, like, because like you were saying, I feel like you get the biggest bang for your buck with the definitive editions if you never played if you never played it in the first place. Like Sleeping Dogs, I didn't play it on the 360 PS3. I didn't play it back then, but then it came out, you know, all right, here's all the DLC and whatnot. And it was cool. You know, I played it. I got it for my Xbox, and it was cool. It was fun. I was able to pick it up, and I think that's where you would probably get the most, because you get everything that you missed out on and then some, because, you know, you get all the DLC and stuff.
Right. And if you're gonna re-release them, especially throw in all the DLC. I mean, don't charge for more. Don't make it extra content. Just put it in there with the game. And I can think off the top of my head, Dark Cloud 2, and I'm also throwing Final Fantasy X and X2 in there, because these games, they were like, here's the HD version, go. And yeah, it's in high def, but nothing's been improved. Right. I mean, in Final Fantasy X, they did improve a couple things, but for the most part, it's just the same game. And it's like, all right, well, you know, you used to play this. I'm like, that game isn't that old. I mean, that was at the prime of PS2. You're only at PS4. This is a remake, and like all the textures are the same. Yeah. You just made it widescreen. And in Dark Cloud 2, you didn't do anything. You just said, hey, you remember this game? I bet you can't play it on anything you got now. You can buy it. And sure enough, I did.
All right. You say, hey man, you know what? Here, take my money.
But you know what I'm saying? I know there's a difference between remakes and remixes and, you know, all that stuff. Is this, do you think, where gaming's going nowadays? You know, you run out of ideas, and you know that you can, all the people who played PS1 were adults with wallets now. If you want to start making that big buck, you can be like, oh, I remember that game. Oh, I know that game. I wish I could play it again. And then they put in some new stuff, all the bells and whistles of 2020, and then try and sell it back to you. Do you think there's big money in that?
I think there's definitely big money in that. Because when you think about it, I mean, that's kind of what Hollywood's been doing for a good while now. You know, a lot of remakes, a lot of reboots. You cash in on people that are familiar with something, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, you know, oh yeah, I know Sonic, and I'm just, it's just familiar, so it's easier to sell. I feel like, so I definitely think it could be overdone and maybe not executed the best way sometimes, just because people be like, yeah, you know, I'll take your money. Like you were saying with Dark Cloud, they could have gave you a little bit more, gave you a little more bang, but they just took your buck. You know, it was. So.
Yeah. I want to read you something off of the Body Snatchers podcast Facebook page, Body Snatchers Media /Facebook. This is I lost it, but I put up a post saying, if you wanted to see a remake of any game, what would you have? And are you know, Final Fantasy VII's the big one. And Chris says, not necessarily built from the ground up, but I could definitely use Final Fantasy 1 through 6 with a fresh coat of paint. The remake of 7 has single-handedly brought my excitement from this series back from the dead. Now, he's an adult who can buy all 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's excited about the series again, so they got him. They got me. They got everyone I know, pretty much. So when this gets out, how well this game is doing, and as a business standpoint, you'd have to be stupid not to just start saying, all right, go in the vault, get some PS1 games, throw them here. We're gonna
because they're already doing that with what is it, Trials of Mana? They already doing that. They was just like, we know that Final Fantasy VII is going to do numbers regardless. Like, people that didn't play Final Fantasy VII are hyped just because that's what they paid all the millions of dollars in advertisement fees to do. Like, it got everybody ready. So I know that they got the Trials of Mana coming, which is like a old action RPG game from like 95. You know what I mean? So it's just like I know it's coming. I can know. I see the trend.
It's like a tidal wave. Nigel says, my man Nigel, he says he wants to see Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
Is that what it is? Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
He said KOTOR. And he says, I never got to play it as a kid, but I would love to play a remake. And you know what? I never played it as a kid. I'd play the remake too. That's all you hear people talking about it. If they came out with a remake of that exact game, you bet I'm going to get it.
Yeah, especially now with the online capabilities, like that would be ridiculous.
And for what I'm seeing from these guys, Matt says he wants Nox or Chrono Trigger. If you never played Nox, it's kind of like an old Skyrim Gauntlet Legends game. It's really good. It's really in depth. If they made remakes of those games the way he's putting them out there, Chrono Trigger, it doesn't matter what they do to it. This guy's gonna buy it, and that's amazing to me because we could see nothing but rebooted games and rarely see an original idea get off the ground now.
Right, and that's going to be a problem, and because that's what I'm saying. I'm just here to make the sale. It's so easy for them to be like, hey, Final Fantasy VII, everybody loved it back then, and you get them going. You switch everything up about it. It's a whole new game. Hey, I know everybody isn't into turn-based games, so we kind of is action, but with a splash of that element to it, and you get the new people that never tried it. I know people that didn't play any turn-based game that this would be their first Final Fantasy game. So I think it's going to work. It's going to make a lot of money, and eventually I'm going to get tired of seeing all these remakes. But we'll see.
Yeah, let's take Wayne for example. He says Legacy of Kain. Now, you put that out there. What you would do is you can redo the engine. You can clean it up, make it look nice, use the exact story. Not only is Wayne going to buy it, but now it's an original idea to everyone that hasn't played it, or, just young kids that have a system that don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
The demographic is so big for games like these. And when people start figuring that out, I think we're gonna see a lot more reboots. I mean, Ratchet and Clank, I don't know if you played that.
Yes.
That must have came out on PS4 a couple years ago. It did awesome. Everybody loved it. And what they did was they were loyal to what the PS2 version was, and they brought it to PS4, and the old people remembered and the new people got to experience, and it killed.
Yeah. But I feel like that was a special exception because they had the game back on PS2, then they made a movie sometime after, and then they made the remake that came out on PS4, which took elements from the movie, and they kind of added it on, so it kind of made it this whole new thing. And, in some aspects, it was nice though. I definitely
I forgot they did a movie. They got to relax.
No, man. Hey, they got to cash in. They was like, we got to get it.
Here we go. Brandon says Dino Crisis. Oh, here's a good one. Dino Crisis. That would be cool. But Tyler says Parasite Eve. Now this is interesting because let's say Resident Evil 2, that used the engine from Resident Evil 7, and I bet this game is still paying Capcom's bills. So if you took Parasite Eve and you redid it just like you did Resident Evil 2, it would it would do awesome. I would love to see that. Because I got nothing against bringing games back as long as you're gonna put the work in. I would love to play that game again.
Yeah, and so now, because let's say if it does numbers, does that bring back the series? Are we like, okay, we gonna just act like this is the first game and then be like XYZ2, whatever game it is, So I can see it. Like,
look, I don't know how Sharknado's making so many movies. And if you got a game that just killed, you got to make a couple of them. You got to capitalize on that. That's just, I don't know if it's common sense. I don't know the science behind it, but if you got one game that everybody bought, you got to expect more of them. I mean, the remastered Last of Us. If you guys haven't played The Last of Us, the remastered version is out right now. I think they gave it away for free a couple months ago. Play it, because Last of Us 2 that's gonna knock some doors down.
Oh man, like when that came out, that was because I can't just sit down and just power through games like that sometimes, the way my life is set up. But that was one where I closed the curtains and was like, oh, we are here for the next few days, and that was a good one.
Oh yeah, I mean, and Last of Us, it didn't come out that long ago. That was a PS3, and you got a remastered version already. So that I think they figured out, like, Naughty Dog was like, hey, just people are still buying this, do a remastered version, and I bet you a lot of people got 2 copies of it now. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's smart. People got these big TVs, these big surround sound systems. They want the best, and if you got something better than what they got, they're gonna pull that trigger. And then the last one, I'll put Facebook away. Derek says Legend of Dragoon remake. That's gonna happen. Just hang in there, Derek. Someone's gonna do that.
He said soon. It's coming.
Yeah, soon.
But
so I want to tell you my favorite right off the bat that just blew me away. Honorable mention was Pokemon Let's Go.
Okay.
I consider that a remake. But I threw that out. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. If you haven't played the original, man, just play the remake on the Switch. It is, the graphics are mind-blowing. It's so clear. It's so clear and so fun, and it's just one of the best things that you could do, especially right now in your house. Legend of Zelda has, I think that might be one game that I might replay just because it was so easy to play and it was so fun to play.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Switch. You didn't get it, did you?
No, I didn't. I did not. And I was like, and you were saying how visually good it was. I was like, it makes sense because it was, back then it was so much simpler, you know what I mean? So now they can just kind of go in with the quality of it all. So I could definitely see it. I can definitely see it.
Oh yeah. What about you?
So like I would say, like, remake wise, I couldn't tell you a favorite, but like if I was to say like reboot, I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna piss off a lot of people, but I personally liked the DMC, that version of Devil May Cry, black hair Dante.
Okay.
Hey, I loved it. It was clean. I get why some people didn't like it because it was just, he had black hair and that just made people sick. But I think they could have very well just, made a different character and had a new game, and they would have did fine. I feel like, because I loved it. I played it back on the 360. They had the definitive version, and I was like, you know what? I'm back at it again. I'm here for more. And
you have to, a character like him, you have to evolve somewhere. You can't just keep him the same.
Yeah. So, but they was like, you know what? Never mind, because obviously they went back to Devil May Cry 5 and just act like that didn't happen. But they got my bucks, and now we moving forward. So it is what it is. Besides that, I would say maybe the Street Fighter 2 HD remix. I don't know if you played that, but
Yeah, the turbo.
yeah, it's so clean and crisp. Like, I love it.
It is, and that's not a $60 game too anywhere.
Right,
I don't think,
right.
which I think is cool. I mean, they know where it's like, all right, well, there's not this much here. People probably still own it somewhere. I noticed that at least on the Xbox, I used to notice that they had HD versions, and then they had the regular game version. They were just like selling out,
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't really that much of a difference. But I get why these things are done. I mean, BioShock came out with the HD version of it, and they sold them in the trilogy, BioShock 1 and 2 and BioShock Infinite. And I got those, and I played those all the way through. And I'm kind of glad I didn't play it the first time, because that was an amazing game, and I could tell that they took care of it a little bit more the second time. Same with Skyrim. Skyrim I played when it first came out, and then I got the HD like remastered version, and I could definitely see a difference with the sky, with the mountains, with the just the all around environment.
So now, with that being said, are you going to wait for Cyberpunk? Because I don't know if you saw, they were just like, it's not going to come out, with the next gen system. It's not going to come out outright. That's going to come a little later down the line. So I'm assuming that it's going to be a little cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to fine tune it. So are you going to wait, or are you going to get it for current gen? Yeah, I know.
That's tough, because I think I will get it as soon as it hits the shelf. But the thing is, it depends if I'm doing a show on it, or maybe Tino G or Kellz, or you want to do a show on it. But I think I'm gonna get it right away, because I don't know if I'm up for waiting for like next gen or remasters. When I go to next gen, the PS5, I'm getting it as soon as it comes off the racks. I'm getting one. I'm ready. I got the money right now. Let's go, boys. I'm getting it. I don't know if I'll have time to be like, oh, there's a remake here. I'll probably be playing something else.
Right.
They can, that, you know what I'm saying? Like that new Infamous game came out when the PS4 launched, and the PS4 had a bunch of remakes too. So I couldn't play those because I was playing Infamous. And then, it's going to be the same way for this new gen. If there's a new game out there, I'm going to play the new game I haven't played, as opposed to the old game that just has, a polishing a little bit. It's not a game from my childhood. It's not a game that I would preferably want to play again. I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I know like it doesn't have that high of replay value. You know what I'm saying? Not like that. Not like the Halos, to which they've re-released 4 or 5 times and people are still playing them, which I get because of the multiplayer. It's fun.
Right.
Now, before we get out of here, what game would you like to see remade? Now, everyone knows that I'm a big Mega Man Legends fan, and we had Adam Kareem Twitter. If you want to go check him out, he made Mega Man Legends with Unreal 4 engine. And that thing looks so good. The dungeons look so good. It felt so clean and new. I would love a Mega Man Legends game. You don't redo the entire story. You keep the ending, but then you redo everything in between. Just make it a little more complicated, and then you just clean up Cadillacs Island. I think that would be an amazing game, and everyone would buy it, especially Mega Man fans, and especially people that remember Mega Man Legends, because not a lot of people do now.
Right. And definitely because it was just such an offshoot from the main line of games. Like, I think it'd be a good way to be like, hey, you get the old and the new, kind of like you were saying. For me, I think I want to do something. I'll say Shinobi. I don't know if you ever played any of the Shinobi games.
Oh yeah.
I would love me a new take on that. Just because who doesn't love ninjas just destroying stuff.
I'm down with Shinobi. Fuck Ninja Gaiden.
Look, I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, so I think that's a good one. I don't see, and just because Final Fantasy VII just came out, I don't want to keep talking about it. But I always wanted Final Fantasy Tactics, which is like the chessboard style. If
Yeah.
you give me a definitive remake, whatever the fuck, I'm gonna buy it. I'm there for all of that. So I don't care. However they make that happen, I will be there for it. So those are tactics is gonna be the bigger one, but I just want to get off the Final Fantasy hype train for a second. So I'm gonna go with Shinobi. That's my first pick.
Nice. While you were saying Final Fantasy Tactics, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist Arose.
Mm.
I think that was called. I'd like to see that game come back. I know it's a little bit complicated for the lifelong fans that like the card game to play, but I think it had like a chessboard 2 sort of feel to it, and I think that was pretty cool. Another one is I don't know if you heard of it. This was on PS1. It came out in 1997. Poi Poi.
No, it's not ringing any bells.
So this was a battle royale game up to 4 characters, and you would preload them with perks. These perks were called gloves. They'd be used when you were throwing anything on the stage, like rocks, missiles, and trees. They could blow up, they could bounce, they could heat sink, multiply, just all kinds of crazy shit, all depending on what glove you're using. This game was easy to play, hard to master. I remember playing it for hours and hours and hours, and there was no online back then, so it was just me and one other person playing it. But I feel like if they made something like that now, maybe on the indie scene, I don't feel like there's enough indie, at least at PS4, there's not enough indie games being thrown in there. I feel like they could look a little bit to remastering some of the games that aren't being looked at anymore too.
Yeah, definitely.
Do them cheap, do them neat, make some money.
Right, quick and easy.
All right, should we get out of here?
I think so, man. It's right on time.
All right, peoples. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to head to bodysnatchersmedia.com and check out that Patreon. If you can't do it right now, subscribe and tell a friend. We aren't going anywhere. Hope you don't either. So stick around. And for Steve and Jay, stay in, stay safe, and tell someone you love them. Take care.
All right, guys. Peace.